Hey, what's up? What's up, everybody? What's up, Alex? Glad to be back for another week of the shenanigans. Uh, Election time is coming around. I believe we're only a couple months away from the election. Campaign people out there campaigning, putting on a new thing. Everybody, let's check out this video from Donald J. Trump. Let's see what he got to say.
I'm also announcing that as part of our additional tax cuts, we will end all taxes on overtime. You know what that means? Think of that. Think of that.
All right, Alex, you heard it. Heard it from the man's mouth himself. What do you think about the statement he just said about taxing unemployment? I mean, taxing overtime pay, not unemployment. Sorry.
About not taxing overtime pay, correct?
Right. Right.
I feel like there's probably more behind it. But for working class Americans, I think it's a good benefit. What the guy was saying in the video though about Alabama having done it with state taxes from someone being born and raised in Florida, it doesn't seem like that much of a difference taking it off of state taxes just because you still get taxed on the federal rate. But if he takes it off if Donald Trump takes it off on a federal basis, I think a lot of people would have a lot more money in their pockets. But I question if them doing this will result in taxes elsewhere, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. It makes sense if they're going to do taxes elsewhere. How about the states that already uh, pull in a state income tax, increasing the state income tax? Because they figure, oh, they're getting more money, we can increase the state income tax. For me, on it, I say it's a shrewd and a good political move for Donald Trump. And I mean, literally, politically, it's a good thing to announce. And the reason why is this: the misnomer or the thought process behind people's, especially if you're on the left, people's thought process is Republicans, conservatives, they only care about the rich, right? So now this right here, this plan right here, this tax, I mean, this is huge as far as tax on the federal level. This would dispel some of that misnomer. You see what I'm saying? Great political move. And I'm not saying good or bad. I'm just political wise, it's a move because everybody always has that misnomer to say that Republicans or conservatives only care about the rich. This is a direct shot at the middle and lower class people. This is a shot to say, hey, we're here for you. And then, I've got a couple text messages about this and they said, is it possible? Could this be done? Yes, it can be done. And then if by some chance Trump get elected and then he pulled this out to get put into law, and then the quote unquote people, the party for the people or the party for the middle class and poor, they shoot it down, then what would they have to say? So I just think it's a good chess move of just bringing this to the forefront. Like he brought the chess move of I will not tax tips on servers or the servants industry. And then you've seen that Kamala Harris adopted that philosophy and picked that up too for her campaign. So I just think it's true moves. I mean, as far as will it help or hurt, I think honestly, it will put more money in people's pocket. But I think at the end of the day, the people that it will help more is the people that own assets. Um, I'll just leave it at that now. Let you go from there.
See, and that's what I was like thinking too, is like there's got to be something behind the scenes with it because now it makes sense. So you don't have to tax overtime, which means people that own corporations, own companies, they don't have to pay that employee tax to that overtime, so they can get more work out of people as well. So yeah, that's a good point. Like I said, I think, and as you said, it's a good political move, and I think it will help middle class citizens. I just know that there's always another side to it. Whether it's helping the rich, whether it's now there's going to be taxes somewhere else. But at the same time, we have seen Donald Trump take action on things like this before with the corporate taxes or the I want to say W-2 tax or the employee tax, but the income tax, your income taxes. So before, I think Donald Trump lowered the income taxes from like for top earners, I think it was 39% to 37%. Is that correct?
We're
And
in
then
that ballpark.
yeah, and then the taxes in the lower range were adjusted to, and then for the corporate tax, I think it was what was it, 35%, and you brought it to 21%. I might be a little bit off on that, but
Yeah, in
that
that
was
area. Yeah.
yeah, it was a big drop in that, and we saw him do that too. So I wouldn't say it's far-fetched for him to get this done either. So that's one thing I will say that is, I guess everyone hopes to see with politicians is the promises that they make, they actually execute. And since he has served a 4-year term, we've seen him execute on quite a few things that he said he would do. So I think, it could go through as you were just speaking on.
Two things. One of them is I don't think we was on the same wavelength when we was talking about people who benefit on assets. But first thing, so when Donald Trump lowered the corporate tax, everybody said that, oh, look at him just helping out the rich again. But again, if you look at the inflation during his time as president, it was under 2%. So just let's throw that out there. So the the super rich or the people that own the corporations, they got a lower tax bill, but your cost of living did not increase. I mean, COVID happened and that's an anomaly, once in a century type deal. But besides that, it didn't increase. Now, when I said that the uh, not taxing overtime pay, the people that will benefit in the end are the people that own assets. I'm not talking about the business owners. No, 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 no. I'm talking about the people who own assets, as in people that own rental properties. So if you're renting in a C and D class neighborhood, or if you have rentals in those neighborhoods, I mean, even B class neighborhoods, especially if you sit there and manage each property yourself, where the employee works, what they do, if they exempt or non-exempt employee. So now they're making more money. So with more money, because this is just what the middle class does, is the more money they have, they spend it. It's not the more money they have, they save it. The more money they have, they spend it. So they're either going to spend it on institutions that's publicly traded that you can benefit if you own stocks, or they're going to spend it on other frivolous things that will keep inflation a little bit higher than norm. But you as a landlord, just like when they raise minimum wage, when they raise everything else as far as income, you as a landlord, you're also going to raise the rents also. So you can get a piece of the action. So that's what I mean by people who own assets is the one that's going to win in the end.
Okay, yeah, so yeah, that's so true. That makes a lot of sense. I was looking at it from like the company perspective, but no, that makes total sense. I mean, that's the same thing that we saw with the stimulus money and the forbearance and all that stuff. People had that extra money, and in your face from what the politicians are saying, like, hey, we're gonna do this to help everybody. Like, to the majority of America, it's like, oh wow, they're looking out for us. But like I said, there's always a behind the scenes matter. Like the behind the scenes thing was, okay, now rents are gonna go up. Now cost of living is gonna go up. Now inflation is gonna go up. Because people aren't thinking of those things. They're just thinking of what can I get now with all this money that I'm about to save.
And I'm not saying that the reason why Trump is doing it is so the people with assets can make more money. That's not what I'm saying. Because remember, most of the people that live in the B plus A neighborhoods, they're exempt employees, they're salaried employees, so they're not going to make money in overtime. This is the people that in the B and C areas. That's what's going to happen. And could the people that live in these B and C areas that work overtime, could they circumvent that from happening to people who have assets make more money? Yeah, they could. But they won't because they're going to go out and do the extra stuff. Like you said, we seen it during COVID. Instead of people being happy with the car that just got them from point A to point B, they had to go upgrade and get the luxury model or something else to get a car paid. Landlords see that. And I'm just telling you from a landlord's perspective. Landlords see you going out there giving money to all these corporations. If you just sit there and be humble and you just stack cash, stack cash, stack cash, so you can hopefully one day be able to go buy a property and go live your own life, then that's fine. But when the landlord pulls up to the house to collect rent or go do a maintenance check and they see a new Challenger, Jaguar, something sitting in the car, they're like, only thing they're thinking is you giving your money to everybody else for something that's not a necessity. Well, why don't I charge you more for a necessity? Because you need a place to live. You can drive anything, but you need a place to live. And yeah, of course, the tenant can get up and move if they want to, but that's the thought process behind the landlord. I'm just giving y'all the true facts. The conversations I'm in the room with, they see what the tenants are doing. So it's just simple. Like, all right, you're giving money to everybody else. Well, why not get a piece of it? But I've never seen a landlord be like, oh yeah, my tenant, they just pay, they just live humbly, live meek. They ain't saying, oh, I'm just gonna jack the rent up on them. They're a good tenant, they're gonna do their thing. That's what happened. And I'm just giving you true bare bones conversations that's happened behind the scenes that landlords have with each other that they don't talk to the public about. So if you get more money, act like you're still not making money. Stack that money up, invest it, do whatever, and then go live your life. But trust me, if you in a non-exempt employee and you are hourly worker and you get overtime, trust me, your landlord will know because y'all have the conversations. He know where you work at. He know what you do. It's easy to find out. Oh, these people, what kind of hours they working? What are they doing? But they don't even have to do the research because most of the times the tenants tell them themselves. They make more money. They got to show everybody they make more money, and then that's why we get the effect. Just like in Florida with the minimum wage. Minimum wage started increasing, forbearances start coming in, student loans, forbearance was in, mortgage moratorium was in, and then in the worst neighborhoods in America, you starting to see exotic cars showing up, not like Lamborghinis, but you starting to see Mustangs and all this kind of stuff showing up in the hood. Landlords see it too. If you can afford that, then that means you can afford more rent. And that's how you tell on yourself, just for the people out there that's right.
Let us know what your thoughts are, guys. If you like this video, hit the like button. Don't forget to share and subscribe. We will see you guys on the next one.